Hey, I'm Captain Ricky Wheeler. I'm down here in Cat Island, Bahamas, fishing on the over-under. Mating for Captain Joe Trainer for about a month and a half. We're down here to do mostly marlin fishing, catch whatever else wants to bite. But we're focusing on pulling dredges and pulling basically a full weight marlin spread and ready to pitch to any blue marlin that comes up. Now, I've been tying hundreds of white marlin rigs, so I thought it'd be a good time to show you how to snell to a hook. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to have the right hooks, and I'm using 7.0 VMC tournament circle hooks, a non-offset. You can use anything, Eagle Claw, Owner, Mustad. A lot of companies make them, but I tend to like the VMCs, and the Owner's the best. And I find that the 7.0 hook for white marlin, when you're pulling dink baits, naked swim ballyhoo, seem to work the best because it's not a whole lot of weight, doesn't throw the ballyhoo off, and it'll swim right. So what you want to do when you're snelling, you want to get your line. I'm using 100-pound high-vis Power Pro right now, just so you can see how I'm tying this. Alright, now what you want to do, you have your hook here, you have your tag in here. You want to come up through the bottom of the eye of the hook. Alright, you come right up through the bottom. I'm going to do this nice and slow. Pull out a good amount of tag, so you have plenty to work with. Come around, and that's where you have it right there. I usually pinch it together to help it stay in place. You have your tag in here, you have your loop here. Now you want to take this top part of this loop, which is the part that came up through the eye, and you need to wrap it around the hook and around the tag end. And I do it 7 times, alright? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I always try to keep my loops tight together because it makes everything come together so much smoother and cleaner. And you take the tag in and you pull the loop through. It's nice and tight. I usually just kind of slip it up to help out a little bit. And now just take a good wrap here, pull it tight, pretty much already tight. Alright, so then you have your tag in, you snip that off, and you're good to go. That's your snell. Now the next thing you want to do, since we're doing wind-ons usually when we're marlin fishing with a snap swivel, we do a 6-foot leader. So you pull an arm's length out, have your leader there, cut it, and there's 2 ways that you can put this into a loop for your snap swivel. You can crimp it, or you can tie a perfection loop. I prefer a perfection loop. It's quicker, easier, and saves on crimps, and I've never had a problem with it. Now to tie a perfection loop, you want to leave a little bit of a tag in here too. And what you want to do, you want to come around, forming a loop. So you're coming around, and this tag end goes behind the main line. Alright, so you have your loop there. Now just pinch it in these 2 fingers. And you come around here, forming another loop. So basically you're wrapping around this loop. And see how I'm pinching it there, and see how this is open. Take that across, and I still keep pinching everything. So now you have 2 loops, and you take this front loop and you go through and you just pull it tight. Sometimes you gotta pull on this just to snug it up. Take my scissors, good wrap, pull it nice and tight, and now you got your perfection loop. Just cut this little tag end off here, and you're good to go. Now you got your white marlin rig. Now I'll show you again. Tie a perfection loop. To tie a perfection loop, you want to leave a good amount of tag end right here. You form your loop by bringing this tag end behind the main line and pinch it so you have your loop right here, just like that. Now what you want to do from there, come around. Basically you're wrapping around this loop. You're forming another loop by wrapping around. Alright, and I pinch it together. So now you have a loop in front and a loop in back. Take this piece, go right over top in between the 2, and you take this front loop and you push it through the back loop. Just like that. You push it right through, grab it, and you pull it tight. Cut off this little tag end, and you're good to go. The nice thing also about a perfection loop is you can control the size. So you do it here, and once you get good at it, you can do it nice and fast. and you can either pull this and push up on that to make it a smaller loop, which I like to keep my loops nice and small, and you're good to go. And that's your perfection loop. Alright, well that's all for today's how-to on how to tie a Snell and how to tie a perfection loop. Tie yourself some rigs, go out there and catch a billfish. If you have any more questions, feel free to email me at captainrickywheeler@gmail.com, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/CaptainRickyWheeler. I'll see you next time.